Hi, I'm Lorenzo Davis, and this is the first look to my new movie, Down and Quiet.
Start my nitro up today. Maybe that'll make me feel better.
Yeah, this is fast
guy.
I thought I was just gonna get the treatment.
Every job I had, I've lost because
No, I'm going for the podium.
Wow, since I've been on the track, right? I missed 5 races in a row the last 6 months.
Yeah, we definitely gonna put Tata batteries on the map this year.
I race some remote control cars.
Yeah. I've been down and quiet for way too long. How'd I get started in RC racing? Well, it's a long story. I started way back in 1986, 1987. My dad was in the military. He was in the Marines for 30 years. And around that time, he had got transferred to Okinawa, Japan. And it was a 3-year tour, so he was able to take the family with him. And so we all went up to Japan, and he got me my first RC car over there. I think we were racing the old Kyosho Ultimas and the Optima Mids back then. And I loved it, man. It was the funnest thing ever, you know, especially me being a kid. I think I was like 8, 9 years old at the time. And then we, after the 3-year tour was over, we pretty much went back to North Carolina, and it just so happens to be a RC track in my hometown. So we started racing there. But you know, time went by. We raced there probably about 2 years. And after that, you know, I got into sports. I got a little older. I was in high school. I got into sports. And eventually, I got into the music business, the entertainment business, where I eventually, you know, got my own independent record label. I was the artist. I did all the marketing and promoting, and yeah, it was fun. And that kind of like took my focus away from RC racing. And I had been doing music for about 20 years, 25 years. I actually got to a point where I was about to be signed by a major label. Just so happens that was the same time when I first caught Crohn's disease. And I remember it was heartbreaking. I was actually in the hospital for the first time, in the hospital bed, on the day that I was supposed to meet with that major label. They even called me while I was in the hospital, and it was heartbreaking. So I missed my opportunity out on that. But I did it big in the music. I was touring, putting my own tours together around the state, around the region. You know, I was selling my CDs out the trunk, you know, shooting videos, radio interviews. I even won a few musical awards for independent artists. So yeah, I love the music scene, but you know, I eventually grew out of me. So one day I was just driving, and I just happened to see a local hobby shop in my city, and I was like, dang, I didn't know we had a hobby shop. So I went over there and looked at everything, and I think I bought myself a Traxxas. I want to say a Rustler, I think. Yeah, I bought a Rustler and started playing around with that. And then I heard that somebody, you know, out in the country had a RC track, so I started going out there. And yeah, it was just like a snowball from there. From there, I got like a Armour Typhon, and then I think I got my first kit after that. I think it was a Techno E-Buggy. That was my first kit that I actually had put together, 8-scale kit. I said, a snowball effect from there. You know, and that was 7-8 years ago. So I've been racing back about 7-8 years now. Well, you know, I have been going through Crohn's disease for some years now. And at the time, I had lost my job because I was going in and out the hospital so much. And, you know, you can only miss so many days on a job. So I was just always in the house, you know, always in pain. And I was thinking to myself, like, I have to do something to not let this consume me, because it was starting to consume me. I couldn't do anything. Every day I just felt hopeless. So I was just like, I want to do something, and I wanted to bring awareness of Crohn's disease, because a lot of people don't know about Crohn's disease. They've heard it, they may have seen the commercials on TV about the treatment for it, but they don't actually know what Crohn's disease is. And as bad as it has affected my life for the past 16 years, I wanted to actually bring awareness to it, you know? And at the same time, I wanted to bring RC racing to a different type of audience, a broader audience than just YouTube and just live on Facebook, which is cool. I love it, but I think RC racing needs to be put to the next level. And the best way that I think that it should happen would be a movie. And with everything going on with me and my situation, I just felt that it would be a good idea to do a movie. You know, I needed something to take my mind off of all of the pain that I've been going through. You know, every single day I was catching flare-ups every day. I was to the point where I was going in the hospital every week. And, you know, it was just hard to deal with. And I just I'm the type of person I always need to be doing something. And I just felt like I wasn't doing anything. My life was just withering away. So that was just my way of turning something negative that's going on in my life into a positive. So yeah, that's why I came up with it. The movie is about, obviously it's about me. It's a true story, and it's basically what I was going through as far as with Crohn's disease and still trying to race competitively in the, you know, the Florida scene, the Florida RC racing scene. It's just basically about me. I was actually going through the situation as I was filming it, so that's you know, it's pretty difficult to do, but yeah, I was actually going through it. I was really going through the hospital, in and out the hospital. I was really having flare-ups, and I was having, of course, you know, I was having trouble getting insurance to pay the cost to get the treatment. I mean, it was just a lot of drama that I was going back and forth with in the hospital. So, you know, it was pretty difficult to do, but you know, at the same time, I was still trying to race because I love RC racing just that much. Like, it would be times where I would, you know, catch flare-ups, you know, at the track, or right before I get to the track, or right after I leave the track. I mean, you just never know when it comes, and you know, I had to deal with that. You know, sometimes I'd be on the driver's stand hurting, you know, but you know, I just kind of just kept it to myself. But it was rough times, and this is basically what this movie is about. I wanted to show y'all, like I said, I wanted to have the awareness of Crohn's disease and I wanted to show everyone that really doesn't know that much about RC racing, like the actual life of an RC racer and how serious it could get. Because you know, people normally look at RC racing as toy cars, and they're not toy cars, you know. And I just wanted to show that in the movie of how serious and competitive RC racing can be, you know. And you know, I have the two timelines running parallel. You know, I have the life of me going through Crohn's disease and the life of me being an RC racer, you know, running parallel at the same time. So it has like two different storylines. You know, as far as me being a racer and being a distributor for a battery company, you know, and I just have all of that type of stuff in there. It's just, that's the things I actually had to go through to even race or to even live. It was rough, you know, but you know, I made it through it. And I think this film is a perfect reflection of that. Because like I say, I was actually going through it while I was filming. So, I mean, everything is all real that you see in the movie. And I think that's what makes this movie special, is this is my actual experiences put in movie form. So that's the difference with this one though. But yeah, that's pretty much what the movie is about. You know, I have parts in the movie where we're having conversations in the pits. You know, we could be talking about anything, you know, how the track was going, you know, how your race is going and stuff like that. And it could be, a lot of times people didn't even know that I was actually in pain while I was talking to them. So, you know, that's the real interesting thing about that. But I just wanted to give a visual of how things are at the races, you know, what we go through, and how serious the competition is, you know. We have a really big Florida series called the Florida RC Championship Series that we pretty much travel all around the state of Florida to different tracks. And there's actually a banquet at the end of the series where they give out the awards for everyone that, you know, had good results throughout the series. So, I mean, RC racing is pretty serious. It's just like real racing. It's just scaled down. And I wanted to show all of that in the movie. Yeah. The message that I'm giving in the movie, or that I want people to catch, is to basically just to never give up. Like, this film is a very inspirational film. It's a motivational film, along with the action and the drama that I was going through, you know, in the hospital with Crohn's disease. So I wanted to mix all of that in together the best way that I could. But it's been pretty good. Like, the people that have watched it, you know, they hit me up all the time and they say that it inspired them, it motivated them. Because there's a lot of people in the world that, you know, racing or, you know, playing basketball or doing whatever, and they have, like, you know, health problems. And a lot of people, they don't want their health problems to stop them from doing what they're good at, you know. And I'm the same way, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much the message. Well, I mean, that depends on, you know, how good this one does. You know, if everybody takes to it pretty good, and, you know, if there's actually a demand to do a part 2, then yeah, I'm all for it, you know. Like I say, I really enjoyed doing it. You know, I don't even necessarily have to be the main star of it. I just want to be the one filming it and, you know, doing the production and, you know, the script writing. Like, I enjoy that part. I pretty much starred in this one because I couldn't get nobody else to do it, you know? Like, we're all RC racers. We're not actors and we're not directors, so I pretty much had to do everything myself. But yeah, sure, I would love to get a whole series of them going, like the Fast and Furious series, man. Just be RC it, the RC version of it, you know? But yeah, I would love to do a Down and Quiet Part 2. Yeah, for sure.